Hey everyone, this is Gale from PaulaGaleNetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for the PlayStation State of Play. Hopefully you heard that introduction, but in case you didn't, because it looks like now is when we might be actually live, thank you for joining me today for the State of Play. The event is just about to begin. I'm pretty excited. It'll be very interesting to see just what we get out of it, you know? Any minute now. Welcome! Didn't know it was happening? Yeah, I'm glad you're joining. This is supposed to be third-party oriented, so we might get some pretty cool surprises. Let's see. Is this off a little bit? Oh no, it looks okay. It looked a little bit off earlier. What do I think we'll see? I'm hoping for some nice surprises. If we got to see like a Castlevania, that would be great. New Mega Man, Street Fighter, Final Fantasy, Monster Hunter.
Glory and gore for you today!
We might see the new Warner Brothers fighting game that's inspired by Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That'd be pretty cool.
Your face on TV.
Maybe GTA Trilogy, the definitive edition, will pop up, but I don't know if that's necessary because we just got a trailer for it. GTA 5, the PS5 version, maybe, but I don't know if that will be there either. Unless if they have something significantly new and cool and really showing why it's worth hopping into, you know? This looks interesting. I'm also curious if there'll be PS4 games here today or just PS5 or cross-gen. Also, will any indie developers have their content pop up? Something like Shredder's Revenge, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, would be pretty cool. Deathverse, Spring 2022, PS5.
That was your first look at Deathverse, Let It Die, coming to PS4 and PS5 next year. Now, let's listen in on a recording session with We Are OFK.
War. War sucks. In a world full of war, where war is, just doesn't have anything to do with politics or race or imperialism. Out there, we look to each other and to our thick arms.
You done?
And you're like, how did they get them that thick? Is this like an alternate reality where arms are just that thick, or are they robot arms? Our last hope is arms.
Luca, focus.
Okay, sorry, for real. PlayStation promo time.
Yeah?
I'm just supposed to introduce our band and the game about our band, right? Ooh, can we do something fun with it? Like, can we be like, why is it called State of Play? What are we, the president? What are we, the...
We've talked about these jokes. Hey, you.
Hi. We're still driving.
It's kind of weird.
Jay, I heard back from the mix engineer, and she's cool with getting songs sent on Sunday.
Itsu! How's the PlayStation blog post going?
Are hashtags too much? I want to reach more people, but I don't think I trust people who
All that
use
talk of
hashtags.
arms. It's like
Itsu, you're the best at this.
crossover with Nintendo.
I
don't
just do
think so.
things.
Of course not.
Carter, what you working on?
Just a little audio filter I cooked up for debug here.
Can Debug make me sound like a demon?
Okay. Give me one more run through and we'll take a proper break, yeah?
Okay, hi. We Are OFK is a new music biopic game about us, the indie pop group OFK. It's a 5-episode series about how we started the band here in Los Angeles and how, so far, we have not screwed it up. You get dialogue choices and texting and flirting, and each episode lets you play an interactive music video of a new song from our debut EP. That's 5 episodes, 5 songs. And if you join our mailing list today, you get a life-size cutout of our whole band wearing nothing but PlayStation 5 DualSense controllers.
Oh, God.
No.
Nope. Okay, the cutout is still TBD, but We Are OFK is coming to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 in 2022. The future.
The future, thick arms. We are OFK.
Okay, bye.
We love you.
That's an interesting one.
Up next, the team at Young Horses shares
hey,
a big
different,
update
you know.
coming to Bug Snacks.
If we only had action, adventure, fighting, first-person shooter games, and nobody introduced new genres, new IP, you know, there'd be very little room to grow and expansion.
Did you all see that? Giant bug snacks!
So that's all right.
We might be witnessing a prehistoric species somehow preserved at the bottom of the ocean.
Bug Snacks, that's another kind of funny one. I remember when they first showed it off. I was like, what? All right.
Bro? Has anybody seen my hat?
Kind of a Pikmin and
with hats?
Pinata vibes is what it first gave me when I first saw it.
And that's not all, buddy. Ta-da! We finally finished your huts! So keep checking your mail, do some redecorating, and before you know it, this'll feel like home.
I do hope we get something big and surprising today.
Can we stop
Give me that
wasting time
one
and get on with this expedition before Anna's
trailer
over his
that
shoulder?
just blows me away, you know? Like the last PlayStation event that we had, where we got Spider-Man 2 footage, all God of War Ragnarok, and the Wolverine reveal, and the KOTOR remake. Like, that was pretty legit. Good stuff.
Hey, Five Nights at Freddy's fans. We've got a security breach.
Yeah, Wolverine is what I want to see most too, probably, of what's known. Although, since it's made by Insomniac Games, and Insomniac Games is
Ladies
now
and gentlemen, thank you
a
for
first party
visiting, and we hope you
to
enjoyed the show. Freddie
PlayStation
and the
brand.
gang are pretty
I
tired,
don't think
but
it's
they'll
going
be
to show up
back
today.
again next week after a few days of scheduled maintenance.
But that would be cool. Hey, maybe.
Freddy
It'd be a nice
Fazbear's
surprise.
Mega Pizzaplex is now closed, initiating
I think
nighttime
this
protocols.
is just going to be third-party titles.
Wait, I'm still here.
Lights on! I warned you! I warned you!
Five Nights at Freddy's kind of became something pretty decent. I mean, from one small idea, from one little point-and-click game on smartphones, PCs, to having multiple titles lasting several years,
You should be able
reaching
to escape
consoles.
the security doors
It definitely
open at
has its
6
fan
a.m.
base.
Until then, keep moving and try not to draw attention to
More
yourself.
info around
If
February,
there is another way
yeah.
out, I will help you find it.
If they don't show it off again early next year, then I think that Sony at E3, if they participate in E3, because they haven't in the last couple of years, but if Sony were at E3, or if not, but had their own PlayStation event in late June or early July. I think at that point they would have something pretty significant to show off on either
Please make your
Spider-Man
way
or
to the front of the
Wolverine.
building, where you will be given novelty glasses, a voucher for 1 free soda refill, and where you will sign a legal disclaimer releasing us of all liability for anything that might have happened during your visit. Have an awesome night, and we'll see you again soon. Would you like to take a short survey about your experience?
This December 16th.
Battle beasts and demigods in a challenging action RPG coming soon to PlayStation. Let's take a look.
Pretty fun. The top-down perspective and the movements, to an extent, reminded me of 80s light. I won't say anything is as good as Hades, though, in that genre.
Online opponents await
Hades
these multiplayer
is in a
games
league of
coming to
its own, in my
PS4 and
opinion, on
PS5.
that top-down perspective, isometric control, great hack and slash, aggressive, just role-playing action game. Love Hades. Kart-based racing game. I mean, if Nintendo's gonna get Chocobo racing, I guess PlayStation needs something too. I think we saw the title for a second there, but went by a little bit too quick for me. Kart Rider Drift, okay, no, that's not Kart Rider. Only PS4? Well, I guess it'll be playable on PS5, but no particular PS5 build, it seems.
Dolores.
Oh, King of Fighter 15. Okay. I was gonna say it's definitely a 2D fighting game, but I didn't recognize the character Dolores until I saw, okay, images of familiar folks like Yori. PS4 and PS5. Cool. The open beta test, November 19th, coming up next month. Coming out February 17th next year. That's pretty soon. Cool.
Escape is futile. Looks like you're in need of your medicine.
Oh, you were asking what else
Hi
will I
everyone,
look
I'm
forward
Niels,
to
also known
today?
as Bitterbird.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily, also known as
Often rumored
Norstef.
Silent Hill
Today
would be
we're
a
excited
pretty
to share
big drop.
First Class Trouble with you.
Or a Metal
First
Gear
Class
Solid
Trouble is an
remake would
online
be
social
huge.
deduction
That was
game
announced
featuring
today.
a dangerous
It
cocktail
doesn't
of
seem like a
difficult
giant
decisions
event
and
though
wacky
that we're gonna get
possibilities.
anything big out
Before you
of,
hop into a
honestly.
match, check out the range of customization options available.
That's
to you.
okay.
As you play, you'll unlock
Give
even
some
more, so
time
don't
to
forget
some
to come
smaller
back
titles.
to your wardrobe from time to time. Let's check out that recent match we played.
That was a good one. When the round begins, you'll be assigned a secret role of either a resident or a personoid.
We're about 15
So this
minutes
is me, I
in,
played
though.
as a resident in this
And-
game, and my goal was to reach Kane
nothing-
in the heart of
nothing
the ISS Alethea.
Crazy
And
exciting
I
yet,
got to
but
play as
still
a
cool.
personoid. So my game was all about deception and traps, stopping the residents at all costs.
Great outfit that you have on there.
Thank you. The most important question is, who can you trust?
Yeah, exactly, and I thought you and I were working together.
I know, right?
Sometimes going with your gut doesn't work out.
Sorry, Dave. I don't have that problem.
You sabotaged the oxygen, well done.
When a system is sabotaged or a trap is sprung, this is a good time to start casting doubt on the loyalty of the other residents.
Yeah, you had me so convinced. You did such a great job, I even helped you take him out. You really got me on this game. I never suspected you at any point.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, here it is.
Gotcha!
I realized too late.
Whether you're a personoid or a resident, your social deduction skills and strategy are the key to survival.
Good luck, everyone.
First
and
Class
remember,
Trouble,
be
November
careful who you
2nd.
trust, because in First Class Trouble, cocktails last longer than friendships.
Work together to avoid disaster when First Class Trouble arrives to PS4 and PS5 next month. PlayStation Plus members will be able to download the PS4 and PS5 versions at no extra cost starting November 2nd.
Square Enix. This is gonna be a big one. Try Ace.
Scanning craft. Pan-Galactic Federation battleship, the Astoria.
Weapons activity detected. Readying third
Starboard
strike.
thrusters to full power.
There's no time.
No way!
Abandon ship. All crew members get to an escape.
At the end of infinite space. It looks a little like Phantasy Star, but no, I don't think it's Phantasy Star. It looks a little bit like Xenoblade Chronicles X2 for that matter.
Are you quite alright?
It's help you're offering, and it's help I'm taking.
Damn near the full Federation fleet's moving in on us.
Wish I could say we're good. But the feds saw to it we aren't.
The crew of the Aegis
One of the
needs
main
you.
characters reminds me of
Good luck,
Ken.
Ray.
Street Fighter.
You seek only to devour this world.
I am certain your journey into the stars above will bring hope to the future of this world, Your Highness.
Spare me your self-righteousness. I shall be saved by mine own hands.
If humanity should persist as it has, never will it find total freedom from sorrow.
What hope do we hold should they descend upon us now?
Hey, unaware that there was a state of play today? Yes, it's been alright so far.
Ship
Nothing
by ship
giant.
until there's not a damn thing left.
This might be Star Ocean. The Divine Force? Star Ocean, the Divine Force. There you go. Alright, I had a feeling after a while it was a Star Ocean title. Coming 2022. Well, I think that was the biggest game that we've seen so far.
Before we wrap up, let's get an
Wrap
update on
up?
the eagerly awaited Little Devil Inside.
Yeah, there wasn't a giant push for the state of play. I think maybe to temper people's expectations, it wasn't just blasted all over and everybody talking about it, super hyped up. You know, you heard Sony mention it. Well, I did. That's why I'm watching it. But They weren't making sure everyone watches, you know. Is this that scary train game? You know, maybe. I don't know if this is how they're ending it or not. It sounded like before we go.
Like any other day, Billy
Here's
sets
this.
out on another job.
Second to last game or last game? We'll see.
Looks like he's reading the letter he received.
Yeah, no, this is something different.
The job seems simple enough.
It's funny because seeing the comments on the main state of play, a lot of people
Billy
are
arrives at
bored with
Cornfield
this
Station.
presentation, and yeah,
He
it's
needs to
nothing
meet Professor Vincent,
fantastic showing
who
off,
should
nothing
be
mind-blowing,
nearby.
exciting, nothing
Oh,
big like a
there's
big
an old
Mega Man or
lady up ahead.
Castlevania or surprising Final Fantasy
During travel, you can
7
engage with
Remake
various
2,
people.
Street Fighter title, Mortal
Sometimes to
Kombat,
buy
Injustice
goods,
3, nothing like
or
that, you
simply
know?
ask for directions.
But at the end of the day, it's still 20 minutes of game trailers of something new. Not everything is going to hit everyone,
On
but
certain occasions, the crew is available to travel
someone
together.
probably finds something entertaining out of it, right? Hopefully.
During world map travel, you can encounter various events.
King of Fighters
Some
has me interested.
bigger than others. In this case, a flock of sheep blocking the road.
I'll have to troll,
Looks like they have
laugh
arrived
watching
near
them,
their
although some
destination.
of them are serious.
Billy heads towards an eerie
The comments,
mansion
yeah.
to fulfill
Some people
his
have
simple task,
no
of course.
chill when it comes to something, and if they're
He's
mad, like,
greeted
they're
by
not
who
just
seems like
messing,
the
they're
owner.
like
The
legitimately.
job is to pick up a
This is
mysterious
the worst day of their
artifact
life. They can't
and
believe they
deliver
wasted
it
this
to
much
Professor
time. It's
Vincent.
horrible. I'm like, come on.
Looks like it's kept in the mansion's basement, leaving behind the unsettling signs on the wall. Billy enters the basement chamber. Well, it turns out that the job is not going to be so simple after all. Ever since leaving the mansion, strange-looking creatures constantly appear. Here he is surrounded by a mob, striking and sticking the blade into enemies to pull and throw them around.
Cool little comment
During
there.
his travels, Billy needs to resort to his survival instincts and make use of whatever he has to survive. Often being exposed to the harsh side of Mother Nature. A desert environment is one such place. Finding safe places to camp and cooking up food is all part of the journey.
Unrelated,
This time,
but what did
a
you think of this
sub-zero
morning's
climate. And
Lightyear
worse,
trailer?
Caught in
That
a
was
snow
cool.
blizzard. Struggling to pull his companion out of the snow. What will
Buzz
be their
Lightyear
fate?
origin story with
Lead
Chris
Billy
Evans.
throughout his journey. And
That's something that
imagine
I'm
what
really
he has to
looking forward
face.
to next year.
Some expected, more often not. Oh my. Welcome to the world of Little Devil Inside.
Little Devil Inside. That is what the host said. Before we go, let's check out the Little
That's our
Devil
show.
Inside.
We
That's
hope
it.
you enjoyed this peek
All
into
right.
what's to come on
I
PlayStation.
was hoping there was one more,
See
honestly.
you next time.
That was okay. I mean, I'm not going to give it a grade because it was still kind of cool to watch something and see, 20 minutes-ish of new trailers. Animation looks very nice. I wonder if it'll go straight to Disney Plus. I don't know about that. Oh, you mean the... Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about that for a second. I was like, I don't know about that. Oh, Lightyear. No, I think it's going to be a theatrical release. I suppose that part of it depends on what's the state of the world and health and COVID and all of that by, summer next year. And if they think that they'll have to release it on Disney Plus and in theaters, but Definitely theatrical release for sure. That was today's event. If I had giant expectations, I'd be kind of disappointed, but I was just hoping that we'd see something cool, and with the hope of something big to surprise me. I didn't think it would be just bam, hit after hit after hit, even though that's always wishful thinking. But, I thought, something new, something cool, maybe one or two of these wishful thought titles, and that wasn't the case. So that's okay.
You get dialogue choices?
So not to say disappointing, but it's okay. It was okay. Let me know what you thought. Nothing really great came out of it, but wasn't expecting anything from this state of play. Yeah, that's sort of, my feeling on it. Overall, coming from an era where we got news once a month with video game magazines, and then kind of slowly growing into internet, and yeah, you get to read articles and more videos, and then eventually with Nintendo Directs for the last 10 years kind of being spoiled to presentations nonstop, and then Microsoft and Sony following suit and putting things on Twitter when not on YouTube, but also YouTube, and E3s aplenty, and all of this stuff. It's a very saturated time to be a gamer of constantly getting cool stuff. So if anything that we get isn't amazing, sometimes it seems as a little bit of a letdown, but I'm still kind of all right. It's still something new. It's still something entertaining, and it wasn't a waste of time. It was okay. King of Fighters, Star Ocean, a couple of little titles here and there. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video to an extent, talking with each other. That's been good. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Where's God of War? Before I go, yeah, that's Sony Santa Monica, Wolverine, Insomniac Games. The Game Awards is coming up, though. Jeff Keighley's show in December. That's 2 months away. Oof, would that be a statement maker if they got a brand new trailer for that? That's probably the last big event of the year where you could expect to see something significant from one of the main three or any of the third parties, because a lot of people do watch it. It's not like it's the definitive award show. No, there's no such thing. Every outlet, every individual reviewer, that's up to them, his or her own thoughts. Everyone's got a different taste. But Game Awards definitely holds a pretty prominent place in the gaming industry because it is live, it is big, it is seen by a lot of people. It does have many folks voting on it. It gets amplified in its scope and its sense of importance because it does happen to have a lot of trailers tossed in there to help make the awards show feel more grand, because when you have an exclusive title get debuted there, well, it kind of adds some bravado to the thing. And that's why some people say, well, the Game Awards is kind of a big deal. I mean, it kind of is in some ways. Whether or not you care about the awards, they do help when a title wins, because more people then say, oh wow, Metroid Dread won Game of the Year. I didn't buy that yet. That's worth buying. That's worth checking out because I got to see it here at the Game Awards, a very publicly visible venue, But even if you don't care about the awards, I'm just talking about Metroid Dread. I don't even know if it's going to be nominated, but I sure hope so. But for the game trailers alone, that's cool already, right? Okay, that's enough. What's your GOTY pick? Forgot if you said Metroid Dread was your pick or not. Between Metroid Dread, honestly, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I think it's been a pretty good year for gaming. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut was really good. But the thing with that game, the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut portion, only the DLC, I should say, that is Iki Island can be applicable part. And that's not a game. That is just DLC being added to a game. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Can you count the whole package as being a proper nominee? Maybe, yeah, in a way, but really you'd have to look at the Bowser's Fury portion. If you take Bowser's Fury out, or take out the whole package and only leave Bowser's Fury, that's a nominee in my opinion. Ghost of Tsushima, I guess that one can't be. More so can't be than 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Pokemon Snap was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think what else was good. Psychonauts 2 was a fun game, but for me, definitely Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That was the early part of the year. Probably my favorite new game up to that point. I thought the lighting was great, the polygon models, the action, the adventure, the voice acting, the story, the sense of power and progression. One of the few games that I had a great time platinuming. You know, it wasn't really a chore. I kind of wanted to just play more. But then the second half of the year, Metroid Dread just hit on every single level. 2D action bliss. It was fast, fantastic sense of exploration, power-ups, good soundtrack, fun story behind it, great gameplay mechanics, you know, no slowdown, good visuals, top-notch execution in gameplay control and scalability, in my opinion. If you kind of look at it like that, Ratchet and Clank and Metroid Dread are two very different titles, but they're both spacey, weapon-oriented, power-up progression. It's just they're, you know, delivered quite differently. But between the two, and neither of them have a multiplayer component, which is fine, but between the two, I'm going to give my Game of the Year so far to Metroid Dread. We still have Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. We still have Shin Megami Tensei 5. We still have Halo Infinite. That's a big one that's coming out very soon. Ooh. And we've still got, and this is another one though, Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. 3 games on one disc, or 3 games on one cartridge, one download, but they're 3 old games. Kind of like Ghost of Tsushima in a way. But unlike Ghost of Tsushima, they're 3 remakes. So it's not just a port, whereas Tsushima was a port. Super Mario 3D World was a port. This is, you know, 2 decades removed, 16 years, 18 years removed from the original entries. They look different. They're remade visually. And it's 3 titles on one. So can you rate that one cartridge, the Definitive Edition, as itself, as a, this is what that $60 gets you? Like, man, that's a lot of value. Is that a contender for Game of the Year? Well, first of all, it has to be good, right? Like, as much as I'm a fan of the trilogy and think those games are good on their own, and like each of them is a 9.0 plus title in my book, what if it's a total failure, right? What if the loading is all over the place? It's got tons of clipping and anti-aliasing problems and jitteriness and broken made, right? It would take everything good about it and throw it out the window. But I don't think that's going to happen. So assuming there are 3 titles that are as good and up to as quality of a performance as they originally were back in the day, but now at 1080p on Switch, now at 4K on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, you know, now running at a, you know, locked in 60 frames per second, and everything else about it is awesome. Is it allowable to be a Game of the Year contender? I mean, yeah. I mean, you could say, and that's, you know, to the individual. Some people would say, of course, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is able to be a Game of the Year. Did it come out on PS5 for the first time this year? Yes. Okay, then it's a potential nominee, regardless of where it came out before. Fine. Some people might say that. Is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury able to be Game of the Year, regardless of whether it came out on Wii or not? Some people would say, on their metric, yeah, absolutely. I don't care if it came out on Wii U. You know, a third of that cartridge is brand new in 3D World, in Bowser's Fury, assuming it's a, you know, a third of the experience in terms of gameplay time, which might be somewhere around there. Personally, for me, that game took about 9.5 hours to 100%. The Bowser's Fury, that is. So it depends on the individual person and his or her look on what's allowable in their standards to be a Game of the Year contender. Probably go down to Ratchet and Metroid then? Yeah, I think so. I don't think enough people played Psychonauts 2 to understand how good it is. I don't think it's as good in my book as Ratchet and Clank or Metroid Dread, but I think it's probably deserving to be like in the top 7 category of nominations. The year's not over yet, that's true. And like I said, kind of depending excuse me, on what you value, where you stand, and what should be a nominee, everyone's list is going to be different at that point. You know, the previous year saw 3 fantastic titles in Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy in one cartridge. But you didn't really see that be nominated as Game of the Year across the board because it's understood that it's 3 old games, and they're also, for the most part, just up-resed and in some cases widescreen version ports, right? But for some people, it would say, like, what are you talking about? You've got like 3 games that are 10 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 territory, depending on how much you enjoy those 3, because they are high quality regardless. And, you know, you're getting a 30 out of 30 in a $60 package. That's worth more than any other game that year that came out as a 10 out of 10, right? Some people would say, that's fine. It released then, it makes it viable because it's new in some regards, right? But most people at that point are like, no, it's not enough new that it fairly doesn't deserve to be a nominee. But then you've got things like Crash Bandicoot Trilogy, Spyro Trilogy, Crash Team Racing, although that's a little bit different story as it combined a couple of games. But still, you know, these titles, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, essentially totally new looking titles based off of, you know, franchise entries in the past. Yeah, they deserve to be in it because it's significantly new. But then that goes back to the 3D World plus Bowser's Fury thing. It's not just a port. Part of it is a port, but part of it is an entirely new game, albeit a short game. But then again, who's to say when something too short or not? A fighting game, technically, you could blast through in probably half an hour and done. But fighting game is understood that it's got multiple characters, multiple endings, etc. But some games aren't even that long in the first place, like Metroid Dread. To go from beginning to end, even 100%ing it, someone who's really good could probably 100% the whole Metroid Dread in 3.5 hours. Can someone who's also really good, the equivalent of how good they are in Metroid Dread, and their 3.5 hour 100% run, also beat Bowser's Fury's portion in 3.5 hours and 100% that experience? Maybe. So you can't just give a quantitative look and say, well, it's just a DLC, it's just a small add-on, it's not even a full game. It only took you 3.5 hours to beat in Bowser's Fury. Oh, really? Is Metroid Dread not a full game? If somebody, you know, blasted through Ratchet and Clank in 6 hours and 100% of it, is it not a full game because it's just not long enough to be? No, of course not. So, yeah. So far, Metroid Dread is Game of the Year. Ratchet and Clank is a pretty close second. And then maybe third is like a Psychonauts 2. Unless if I'm counting 3D World plus Bowser's Fury as that package. And then that one's up there in that like 2 to 3 category. Alright, this is PGN signing out. It was a fun time watching. And kind of a more fun time, honestly, talking later on in the comments because that was a cool discussion. All right. Have a good one. Thank you. I love the discussions as well. Sometimes it's more fun than the event itself because we get talking back and forth and, you know, that's engaging and, yeah, comes naturally sometimes as we talk on one topic and we, you know, delve into another. Thank you, and you're welcome. Appreciate it. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for your viewership. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you soon for some more video game news. Tomorrow morning, in fact. It is Thursday. That's going to be exciting. Count on some Famitsu sales.